We begin with the Trump Organization and its chief financial officer, Allen Weisselberg, pleading not guilty to 15 felony counts, including criminal tax fraud and conspiracy. This case dates back to 2005. The CFO surrendered to authorities today in Manhattan. He was released on his own recognizance. Joining us again, back with us, is former Deputy Independent Counsel Sol Wisenberg. Okay, your take on this. This is a 2-year probe, turning up alleged unpaid taxes on $1.7 million worth of fringe benefits like the use of apartments, cars, and school tuition. What was your first reaction when you heard this case?
This is it? This is what we've been hearing about for 2 years? That was my reaction. I heard somebody on another show today call it small potatoes. I think that's being nice. This is not the kind of case that would normally be investigated for 2 years or even 2 months against a New York business. It what I think.
Yeah, so it feels like a tax case that should be handled by the tax authorities. And does it meet the level of criminality? That's the issue. And by the way, does former President Trump face any legal jeopardy whatsoever?
Oh, former President Trump, just by virtue of who he is and all the enemies he has, faces legal jeopardy. But certainly if they thought they had enough to prosecute him, they would have done it. And it's very clear that they don't. Very clear that Weisselberg has not flipped in any way. Think of it this way. He's 73 years old. Even if he goes to trial and is convicted, which is by no means a certainty, a first offender, 73 years old on a tax case, it would be very unusual if he got any kind of a harsh sentence. So, yes, former President Trump always has to worry about legal vulnerability. I just think that this has got to be disappointing to people who want to put his head on a pike.
It's interesting what you're saying. Trump faces no charges in this case. We are hearing other charges could be forthcoming on separate matters. Let's watch former President Trump. Watch this.
They go after me with Mueller, with this one, with that one, with impeachment 1, impeachment. I call it the impeachment hoax 1 and 2. And all of this, all nonsense, made up stuff. In fact, they were the ones who were guilty. They come after me. New York radical left prosecutors come after me. You got to always fight. You got to keep fighting. It's a disgusting thing.
You know, Saul, the Manhattan DA and the New York State Attorney General is still trying to determine whether Trump broke the law. Michael Cohen reportedly testified that he and Weisselberg made up phony valuations for Trump's real estate holdings, inflating the values to get higher bank loans. Michael Cohen is saying Trump is linked to all of this inside the documents that he's seen. What do you say?
Well, he's not very credible, is he? Nobody would ever build a case just on the word of Michael Cohen. And I'm sure no companies have ever done that before, deflated a property for tax purposes and inflated it for purposes of getting a loan. Look, I make no comment upon the indictment in terms of whether or not there's going to be a conviction. No matter how small potatoes an indictment it is, it describes what is a crime if it can be proven. Taking perks, hiding income in the form of perks. It's just not the kind of thing that would typically be investigated or prosecuted. I don't think there's any question that he was targeted here, and it's really quite unprecedented to have both a DA and an Attorney General announce publicly, we are investigating former President Trump. That's unprecedented. That's very, very political. And it's very unfortunate. And my understanding is the Attorney General campaigned on going after Trump criminally. That's just the kind of stuff they complained about Trump on when he was president, wanting all of his enemies charged. So I don't for a minute say that these charges can't be proven. I'm just saying it's small potatoes and it's clearly political.
Saul, let's take a quick listen to the attorney for the Trump Organization today. Watch this.
We will win this case, but this case should have never been brought. It is a political prosecution. Political prosecutions where people are targeted criminally because the prosecutors disagree with their political beliefs.
Saul, what do you say to that?
Well, you can I expect the defense attorney to say that. You can have a case that's very political and also have a crime. There are a lot of people who are charged with crimes and organizations who are charged with crimes, particularly in the political world, who say this is political. It doesn't mean the government can't prove its case. But again, it's really impossible, it seems to me, not to argue that this was political, that if his name had been Donald Kemp or Donald Tripp, that there would have been no investigation of his organization.
Sol Wisenberg, it's always great having you on. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.